Okay, so let's talk about this idea of brilliant sanity. It sounds a little paradoxical, right? Sanity, but brilliant? But what if it's pointing to something really fundamental, something healthy at the very core of who we are? That's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer, this powerful idea and how it can totally shift the way we see ourselves.
And this quote right here from a counselor named Kunzang Chophel really sets the stage for us. He says, "I found the root to mindfulness is being brilliant sanity." You know, this suggests that real mindfulness isn't just about breathing exercises or trying to pay attention. Nope. It's about tapping into something much, much deeper, this thing he calls brilliant sanity.
So what exactly is it? Well, brilliant sanity is this idea that we all have an inherent, a basic healthiness inside of us. And the key word, the really important word here, is unconditional. The whole concept is that it doesn't matter what our mental state is, whether we're happy, depressed, totally confused, you name it. This fundamental sanity is our nature. It's always there. Okay, but let's be real. An idea this big isn't always easy to just get. So, to really understand it, let's dive into the personal journey of Kunzang Chophel himself. He was a guidance counselor from Bhutan, and he really grappled with how to put this profound idea into practice.
You see, Chophel was studying something called Contemplative Psychotherapy. And this field is really interesting because it's born from two very different worlds. It takes the ancient wisdom traditions of the East, like Buddhism and Shambhala, and blends them with the clinical, humanistic psychology of the West. It's right there, in that unique mashup, that this idea of brilliant sanity really found its voice in a therapeutic setting.
So here he is as a novice counselor, and he's totally fascinated by this concept. I mean, he really believed in it, this innate goodness in every single person. But when it came time to actually use it with his clients, he was just completely and utterly stuck. He didn't know what to do. And this left him wrestling with all these really practical questions. You know, he's thinking, okay, should I have my clients meditate? Should I teach them how to meditate? But then he'd think, what if they're not even interested? Wouldn't that feel kind of aggressive of me? He was just spinning his wheels, totally stuck on how to move forward. And then this is the turning point. This is where everything just clicked for him. He had this fundamental shift in his understanding, like a core awakening that basically unlocked the whole concept. This was the teaching that changed everything for him. He realized brilliant sanity isn't some good mood you have to achieve. It's not a goal you have to work towards. It's simply what you are at your core all the time. It's your nature. Doesn't matter if you're feeling on top of the world or if you've hit rock bottom. It's still there. So what does that really mean? It means our sanity is this constant, this underlying foundation that we can always come back to. Now, we might not always feel in touch with it, right? We might not even recognize little glimpses we get of it throughout the day. But the key is, it's never gone. It is always there, always available.
Okay, so if the sanity is just our basic nature, what is it actually made of? Like, how can we understand it better? Well, the tradition breaks it down into 3 core qualities, and we can explore them using a single, really powerful analogy.
And those 3 qualities are openness, clarity, and compassion. Pretty simple, right? Let's break down what each one really means. All right, let's start with number 1, openness. To get this, imagine you're driving and you see a car accident. You know that first instinct to just look away because it's painful or shocking? Well, openness is the ability to not turn away from our experience. It's this capacity to just be with whatever is happening, the good, the bad, the ugly, the neutral, without needing to run away from it. Okay, so once you have that openness, the next quality naturally arises, clarity. Let's go back to that car accident. Clarity means you're seeing the details accurately. You see the broken glass on the road. You see the flashing lights. But, and this is key, you also see what's happening inside you. You notice the fear in your body, maybe that tightness in your chest. It's all about seeing reality just as it is, without all the stories and filters we usually put on it. And then, finally, this all leads to compassion. At the scene of that accident, what happens? A natural impulse just arises, a desire to help, to ease the suffering. And here's the big insight. This means we don't have to learn how to be compassionate. It's already our inherent nature. It's who we are. We just have to stop blocking it, stop avoiding our own naturally tender hearts.
All right, so with this much deeper understanding of openness, clarity, and compassion, how did this change Chophel's work as a counselor? Let's take a look at how this wisdom can totally transform the whole therapeutic process.
The goal just completely shifted. It was no longer about trying to fix a client or solve all their problems for them. Instead, the job became about helping them reconnect with the strength, the wisdom, and the sanity that they already have inside them. It's a huge shift, right? Moving away from focusing on what's wrong with someone and toward recognizing their inherent health. And this had a massive practical effect. For instance, he worked with students who'd been through the trauma of a fatal car accident, and he learned to just trust their inner wisdom. He didn't have to push them or direct them. By trusting in their own brilliant sanity, he created a space where they could heal at their own pace. And it turned out to be a much kinder and, honestly, a much more effective way to work.
You know, this connects beautifully to a core teaching from the great Thich Nhat Hanh. He said, the most important person then is always the person you are with right now. And that's the key. The way you help someone connect with their brilliant sanity is just by being completely present with them. When you're fully there, you create the space for them to see their own inherent goodness for themselves.
But ultimately, this idea isn't just for counselors or therapists. It applies to every single one of us. So let's bring this home now, with a final reflection on what this can mean in your own life.
Here's a really beautiful and practical way to think about all this. Your mind, it's like the sky. And all your emotions, your fear, your joy, your anger, they're like the weather. Sometimes it's stormy, sometimes it's sunny, but the weather is always just passing through. It never stains or damages the sky itself. And that sky, that vast, open, completely undisturbed space, that's your basic awareness. That's your brilliant sanity.
So that leaves us with a question to take with you. Knowing that this vast, clear sky is your true nature, no matter what kind of weather is happening in your mind at the moment, how can you connect with that brilliant sanity, even just for a moment, today?